I am a great admirer of quilts. My mother was a quilt maker, and so was my grandmother. My grandmother made her quilts from old feed sacks and scraps of cloth. She fashioned them to be useful and warm. My mother made her quilts from fabric bolt ends. She liked color and patterns, and she fashioned her quilts to be looked at as well as used. Today is the Feast of the Holy Family. The readings today truly relate to our own life and situation. In the first reading, we hear from the book of Sirach. In the early church, this book was used as a textbook on morality for catechumens and for the faithful. In the passage that we hear today, the author writes about the correct relationship between parent and child. The father and the mother were the leaders and the authority. Children learn from them and obey the father and the mother. Then, as adults, the children take care of and respect their parents. In these relationships, God's plan develops and works as God intends. Quilts are pieced together from scraps of fabric. An experienced quilt maker knows which fabrics will work in a quilt and which ones will wrinkle or bunch or shrink, causing the quilt to be substandard or unattractive. The quilt maker picks only the fabrics that are appropriate for the work. Then the quilt maker applies their knowledge to sew together the pieces into a large work of art, one that will offer beauty, warmth, and a message of love. In the second reading, Paul is writing to the church in Colossae. Paul asks them to renounce sin, loving their neighbors as Jesus taught. He offers compassion, kindness, humility, patience, and forgiveness as model concepts of a Christ-like life. He tells them that the umbrella of love will provide the peace of Christ, drawing them closer into the one body, the one family of God's chosen ones. He continues to reflect on the family theme in the final portion of the passage we heard. It was the model of the family structure then. Today, we can understand the passage as one that affirms each person's importance in their differing roles and responsibilities that form and maintain the well-being of each individual family. Quilts are often passed on from one generation to the next. Stories often accompany these quilts, assuring that the value of the quilt continues to be clear, present, and comprehensible. In the gospel today, Matthew describes the Holy Family, a family under pressure. Herod has been deceived by the Magi. They have failed to return to tell him of the location of the Christ child. An angel informs Joseph of the danger to the child, instructing him to take them to Egypt until the danger is past. Joseph acts on that warning, and the family travels to Egypt, staying there until the danger is over. The angel returns to tell Joseph it is safe, and then returns a third time to guide them to Nazareth. We can notice two things in this passage. First, we notice that the family travels under the guidance of God's messenger. God is interested in the welfare of this family. And second, we notice that Mary and Jesus are not named in the reading. They are referred to only as the mother and the child. Joseph, Mary, and Jesus serve as a universal template for the family. That brings us back to families and quilts. The Feast of the Holy Family of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph is not placed in the liturgical year by accident. The Church sees and emphasizes the importance of the family. It is important in the life of Jesus and an example for us to contemplate in our own lives. It is a point from which to consider how God acts in our lives through our family. The quilt offers us a useful model by which we can think about how our individual families develop. Our family quilt is sewn together from individuals, their gifts and strengths that are given from God. In the first reading, we hear and begin to understand that in families, a structure develops. Parents are the leaders of the family. They set the tone, teach the lessons, provide security and love. Children grow and develop in this atmosphere, learning from the parents, developing their values. They mirror the structure provided by the parents. The second reading offers us more concrete precepts: compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience all live under the umbrella of love in the family. Forgiveness and gratitude are abundant. Teaching and correction that occurs in the family is shared by the parents, each in the differing leadership roles that they assume. Then we see in the gospel the example of the ideal family, following the will of God, trusting in His protection and His love. The readings offer each of us, dad, mom, or child, and we are at least one of these, a focus point where we may contemplate God's presence in our own family life and experience and what it means to be family. Today, we witness a part of the making of Jesus' quilt. And like Jesus, our quilts are made from all the experiences in our life, woven into the experience of our family. Our family is our quilt, and our quilt is one square of the universal quilt of God's family, being pieced and sewn together by His Son, Jesus.